Colleen, Skydrone 57 live high above the Berrien County Courthouse right now here in St. Joe. It was a year ago today that 44-year-old Larry Gordon got a hold of a deputy's gun here at the Berrien County Courthouse. Gordon shot and killed 2 bailiffs and injured a deputy and civilian. And I want to draw your attention to something that happened just less than a minute ago. If we can just take a look across the street here, as you can see, I am across the street from the Berrien County Courthouse. A woman and a child, probably, I don't know, a little boy about age 10, 11, going tree to tree, sign to sign down the street, tying these black and blue ribbons, obviously getting ready for the memorial walk that will take place here later tonight. Vahid Sadrazadeh is with me here running the camera tonight. He will be covering that vigil. I just wanted to show you, since that happened just a moment ago here, I just wanted to show you just the community support on this difficult day. And yeah, emotional just hearing it back in that piece that you did. Tori and Taylor, thank you so much. And we want to, of course, take a moment now to look back at the lives of the 2 bailiffs who were killed 1 year ago today at the county courthouse. Joseph Zangaro, 61 years old, lived in Stevensville. He began his career in law enforcement and retired as first lieutenant of the Bridgman State Police Post. Of course, we know how it was told locally, but we want to see how it was told across the country. The tales of this tragedy shared on the House floor one day after the shooting at the courthouse. It was already, of course, national news, but U.S. Representative Fred Upton hoped that by spreading the word to his colleagues, that would help folks here in Michiana get through this difficult time. His community. Very powerful words there from our Congressman Fred Upton. And Colleen will be here in St. Joe covering this as the community continues to reflect. I can tell you, I've seen a lot of people today come and go from the Berrien County Courthouse, and you can just tell that this is top of mind for everybody here on the 1-year anniversary of the tragedy that unfolded here. We'll have continued coverage throughout this 90 minutes of news. For now, Colleen, we'll send it back to you in our ABC 57 studios. I'm Brian Dorman, live in St. Joe, leading our team coverage tonight of the Berrien County Courthouse 1 year later as we remember the 2 bailiffs that were killed. Just ahead for you at 5:30, a look at how faith leaders stepped in to help heal. Also, an exclusive interview with the deputy's father who was shot and survived. You'll want to hear what he has to say for the very first time from the shooting. We'll have those stories for you just ahead at 5:30. Very powerful interview there. And again, James Atterbury Sr.'s first interview with the media since the day of the shooting. Torian, thank you so much. We'll check in with you again at 6. Now to ABC 57's Taylor Popolars. Taylor, you're live right now, I'm told, with State Senator John Prose. You know, Colleen, it's just hard to believe, isn't it, that it's been 1 year since this tragedy unfolded. I remember being on the anchor desk as little news trickled in, wondering what was the scope of this and how horrific those details continued to be. I can tell you, it has changed so many lives here, and not even just those that were immediately affected, family members of those who were killed, but this community in general. So many people talking about this today. You can feel, we've been here since 1 o'clock, you can just feel the expressiveness of this important day here in this community, Benton Harbor, St. Joe. It was, of course, on this day that bailiffs Joseph Zangaro and Ronald Kinzel showed up to work. They showed up to work like they did every day. It was just another day when both were killed by 44-year-old Larry Gordon. Gordon, an inmate at the Berrien County Jail, was actually leaving the courtroom when his domestic battery charge had just been dismissed. He still faced sexual assault and kidnapping charges to be back in court on that Thursday. 4 people were shot, including a deputy, civilian, and both bailiffs. The deputy and civilian survived. We have live team coverage as we continue to remember, reflect, and recount the moments that unfolded here 1 year ago on this date. ABC 57's Taylor Popolars and Torian Small standing by. Let's start with Torian with an interview that you will only see on ABC 57 News here at 5:30. Torian sat down with the dad of Deputy James Atterbury, who was shot and injured but survived his injuries. Atterbury's father, James Sr., was one of several local pastors who rushed to the scene to bring comfort to this community that continues to this day to heal. Torian? Hundreds of people will be attending. You will be there as well. Vahid Sadrazadeh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And just ahead, our live team coverage continues live here in St. Joe at 6 o'clock. A look at how the communities of St. Joe and Benton Harbor continue to heal, and more on that memorial walk just ahead at 6. Colleen? I asked, and she said that she and some friends made about 600 of them. A lot of these will be worn tonight as we continue to memorialize those who died here 1 year ago. And it is so hard to forget those images, right? That moment when we found out exactly what was happening inside the Berrien County Courthouse on this day, and the unknown, who, why, where. And was anyone hurt? What was the scope of what was happening? Those questions that afternoon were answered in the hours to come. It was a nightmare that for many, they relive every single time they walk through those front doors of the Berrien County Courthouse, remembering what happened here 1 year ago on this date. Our live team coverage continues for you and your family here at 6 o'clock with Torian Small and Taylor Popolars. They are also here in St. Joe as the community bands together ahead of tonight's vigil. And 1 year later, and state legislators, they are still cracking down on crime in courthouses. For one state representative, this bill hits close to home. Kim Lasada, state rep from this district, added her name to legislation to protect people inside the courthouse, including her husband, Judge Charles Lasada, who would have seen the inmate who broke free and killed 2 bailiffs in last year's shooting. It adds courtroom clerks, news reporters, and prosecutors to the list of protected people. The bill would increase the maximum sentence for folks who assault those people from 10 to 15 years behind bars. The bill passed the House in May as well as a Senate committee. It needs approval by the full Senate before it reaches the governor's desk. We're getting closer and closer to tonight's vigil. Joining us one last time, ABC 57's Torian Small. Torian, you're giving us one more look at how Ronald Kinzel and Joseph Zangaro's sisters and brothers in blue are paying tribute tonight. And no doubt, those memories will last a lifetime for everyone impacted by that day 1 year ago on this day. We want to thank you for watching ABC 57 News as we remember the bailiffs, Joseph Zangaro and Ronald Kinzel, forever remembered for their ultimate sacrifice. For all of us here in St. Joe, Vahid, Torian, Taylor, and our crew behind the scenes, I'm Brian Dorman. Colleen, back to you.
All right, great work, Brian, Vahid, Taylor, and Torian. Thank you so much.